In a few hours, we get to see thousands of people that had this game on their bucket list, and they're waiting outside, they're wearing their gear. And as soon as they see us, they start jumping up and down and getting excited to high five us. And that's not just players and cast. That's our staff. They get excited. Oh, you work for the team? That. And if you can find that and continue to build that and talk about what matters most, and it's not about the money, it's not about the sales, it's not about the revenue, it's not even about the growth. It's about the amazing moments that you get to create every day and feel that. It's the most contagious thing in the world.
This is Masters of Scale. I'm Jeff Berman, your host. This week on the show, Jesse Cole. The name you may not know off the bat, but Jesse is the founder of the Savannah Bananas and Fans First Entertainment. And if you've turned on ESPN in the last year, you've seen the man in the yellow suit. That's Jesse. He's part P.T. Barnum, part Walt Disney, and he's scaling a whole new kind of sport with his fast-paced, circus-style version of professional baseball. Jesse's relentless dedication to his fans offers important insights for anyone in the business of delighting customers, which really should be all of us. We are on location today. We are recording live at Angel Stadium, where the Savannah Bananas and the Indianapolis Clowns are playing tonight. And we are with perhaps the greatest showman on earth, Jesse Cole. Welcome to Masters of Scale.
Excited to be with you guys. Been a big fan of the show from when it first launched. So we've shared the episodes with so much of our team, so many people on our team. It's been great.
Well, we're huge fans of what you do. And we were just talking before we turned the mics and cameras on about how you all been capturing content kind of hoop dream style for a long time now. And I feel like if we were producing a movie of the Bananas and Fans First, we might open on you leading the crowd and singing Coldplay's Yellow. Can you set the stage for us so we can open the show there?
Well, as someone who grew up south of Boston, a huge Red Sox fan, my dad and I, we went to so many games back when tickets were $5. We'd sit out in the bleachers. And, I was a shy, introverted kid growing up. And my dad, had the opportunity to win this challenge for me to become an honorary bat boy. And so when I was 5 years old, I saw my first ever Red Sox game, but I was in the dugout before the game. But I was sitting by myself, and one player came over and sat down next to me, and it was Hall of Famer Lisa. And he spent 20 minutes with me, this shy, introverted 5-year-old kid. He didn't have to. And that moment changed everything for me because I saw him as this larger than life pitcher. I saw the Red Sox now as this larger than life team. And I vowed to one day play at Fenway Park. And so I put everything I can into my baseball career. I was fortunate to have professional scouts watching me, got a Division I scholarship, and then tore everything in my shoulder. And that ended my career. Just like that, I was done. And so that dream of playing at Fenway was over. At least I thought. Until we started in the front office and how to make baseball fun. And what people don't realize is I spent 10 years with this team in Gastonia, North Carolina, that no one knew about, just trying to craft what we were doing to get people excited about coming to a baseball game before we started the Savannah Bananas. And then we started the Bananas, failed miserably, lost everything. And then after many years, made it successful, took the show on the road, and was able to sell out Fenway Park with 37,000 fans and everyone singing Yellow and lighting up the sky. And it was a moment I'll never forget. And what happened was I got opportunities to go to coaching. Everyone thought I was into coaching. And I got some coaching jobs. But I also got this opportunity to be an intern for a college summer baseball team. And why would you want that? And I was like, well, it's right down the road. Let's just try it at the front office. And I realized immediately that in the front office, you could actually create a lot of the experience that happens for players. And I started to get ideas of, wow, we could change this about the game. We could change this about the entertainment. This is boring. What if we had this? What about music here? And so immediately as an intern, I started to get the idea of what it was like to work in the front office. And then I got offered a job as a general manager at 23 years old.
Outside of a legendary baseball front office man, when there was a hero of yours, Bill Beck, who did lots of
the best,
wonderfully the best things back in the 50s. Yeah. But minor league and college summer league is where we've seen at least some experimentation in baseball.
100%.
What did you try? What worked? What didn't work?
I was 23 years old. It was 2 months into my job as a general manager. I wasn't able to pay myself. There was no money. There was $268 in the bank account when we started. And there was no money. The team had lost over $100,000 the previous year.
Wow.
So I had saved money, in college. I had a scholarship. So I was living off that. And it was 2 months in, and went to the vet conference. And what other vet conference? So the vet conference is Mike Veck, and he brings together minor league operators, and they talk about ideas. It's all about ideas. And the first speaker, Alan Fadden, came out, and he's running around the crowd throwing $2 bills. hundreds of $2 bills. I'm like, man, there's a lot of money. And everyone's going, what makes this different? What's this about? So he starts talking about the power of a $2 bill and how it keeps it with him. And then Mike Veck brings out a box and he shows a box and goes, my dad always said, Bill Veck, he said, that if the house is on fire, the number one thing you need to get is the idea box, because ideas are the most valuable thing that we have. And so I'm sitting there at this conference and I'm watching this crazy guy throw down $2 bills and he's saying, whatever's normal, do the exact opposite. You got to think different. And he's talking about how he sold this book. And instead of having it at a bookstore with thousands of books, he created his own bookstore in Minneapolis for just one book, his own. And just fascinating idea. So my mind started just seeing like, we got to think a different way. And so right then, I immediately created my own idea box, started putting out crazy ideas. I started reading about P.T. Barnum, Walt Disney. And I said, let's do the things that are just a little bit different. So, all right, give an example. You have beauty pageants. Well, what if we had a grandma beauty pageant? And so we actually got grandmas from a senior citizen home and had a grandma beauty pageant, which did not go exactly as we planned, but it was
What happened?
Well, I mean, Gertrude stole the show. She was 87 years old. Well, first of all, they showed up late because I should have expected that. They get out of the senior, the van and they're slowly, I asked for seniors, but they brought like super seniors, like great grandmothers, and they're slowly getting out. And I'm like, this game's going to be delayed. But yeah, the first question we did, Gertrude, if you could be on the cover of one magazine, what would it be and why? And she goes, of course, Playboy. And I was like, this is in front of a live crowd. She's 87 years old. No one should be thinking about that. And that's how it opened. So, but that's like anything. We do something different and crazy things happen. But we did that. I mean, we had flatulence fun nights with whoopee cushion giveaways. We had salute underwear nights. We had garbage can nachos, which we still do in Savannah, which 5 orders of nachos, 3 hamburgers, 3 hot dogs. It's heart-stoppingly delicious. Still can't get a cardiologist to sponsor it. But all these things, we started thinking about how do we do things different. And that's where the experimentation lab started in Gastonia.
It's one thing to say, I'm gonna take the blinders off. Have the idea box. I'm gonna fill it up. It's another thing to actually generate the ideas for the Grandma Beauty Contest or whatever else it may be. What's the process for the ideas?
We had nothing to lose. See, people realize they always put so much weight on failure. They put so much weight on an idea. When we first started, you do something, who cares? It might not go right. It might not go wrong. It's just going to happen. So we just kept doing all these different ideas. And so now we've developed kind of a system on how we generate our best ideas. We follow a Saturday Night Live model. We generate ideas on a Tuesday, all day idea sessions. Then we have a table read and we start doing rehearsals and we go through all that to have a brand new show every week. Back in the day, Walt Disney was asked, before he passed, he said, well, what's the process for all this? The process? There's no process. He goes, we just try things. We experiment. Some work, some don't. And I think when you take out the weight of that and just say, we're going to try things, you find out a lot more gold. And you find gold because you're doing more. You learn more by the more you do. And so Henry Ford says you learn by doing. And so we're just constantly doing things. Well, so back in the day, the first 10 years of Gastonia, there was no one covering us. There was no social media. We were just testing things. And you watch how the fans react. And you try it again.
There's so many people right now who are working at companies. It could be massive, Fortune 50 companies or at relatively early stage startups who've had a plan.
Yeah.
And whether it's because of AI or other exogenous forces, external forces are coming in and forcing them to have to think different. When you talk to these folks, when they come to you, what are you saying to them about how to inject that, let's fucking go with it, into a process so that you take away that fear of failure and actually give yourself freedom to experiment?
Yeah, we had a plan. We were a college summer baseball team. And then the plan changed because we watched what our fans were doing. We watched as fans were leaving games early. No matter how much entertainment we had, no matter how much dancing, celebrations, crazy moments, surprises, they were still leaving early. Our plan was to be a baseball team.
Why were they leaving early?
Because the game was too long. It's too slow. It's too boring for people. It's a late night. You're taking your kids home. No one wants a 3 or 4 hour show. And so we saw that. We literally videotaped and we're taking pictures and watching every 30 minutes. But no one told us that, hey, we want a faster show, that they act. And so we had a plan. And then you pivot to see everyone's so focused often on their current customers. We love our fans more than anything. I would put us up against any company in the world how much we love our fans. But we're also thinking about our future fans. What are our fans going to want in 3 to 5 years? And you can see little things that they react. What time do they show up? When do they leave? How do they react to the thing with your original music? When we put things on social media, we put millions of things on social media. You can respond right away. It's not, the algorithm likes it. No, do your fans like it? And if your fans like it, they will tell you that. And so I think the reality is it's not about what are our plans. It's you need to put more things out there and share with the world and find out what they like and what they don't like. Companies are afraid of doing that because they're afraid of the perception of what people will think. I don't care what people think. We're going to fail every day. We do silly and crazy promotions. Every day, baseball traditionalists criticize us. We're not for that. Who are you for? If you're trying to grow a business, you're trying to create customers, you're trying to create fans, put more out there and see if they like it. Don't do surveys. Just actually go do it. And that's what Walt Disney believed in. And that's what we try to do as well.
You could easily become the most successful front office person in summer college baseball, or minor league baseball, or maybe in Major League Baseball. Well, you could have been. I mean, that's a path that was available to you. Why isn't that the path you ended up taking?
The greatest creators create things that they love. Often someone that's a creator, they're in a system and they're in a cog and they're creating someone else's dream, someone else's vision, someone else's board member's goal. I realized that someone who played the game and loved playing, watching, it just was never truly exciting for me. And I realized that if I stayed into this box that they put you, these are the rules of the game, this is how you have to play, these are the rules of the league, you better not break the rules or you're going to get fined, which we've been fined plenty of times back in the day when we were in the league. If you can get out of that box and just create things that get you excited, and you believe if you get excited about it, you love it, that other fans and other customers will get excited about it, that's the world I wanted to live in. And so, yeah, I could have gone for hours, but then you got people telling you what to do. Walt Disney learned this. He's like, everyone said, hey, you can't do a full-length animation film. He said, I'm going to do it because I believe it's going to be great. And I think a lot of people, they may believe, but they're told what to believe and what not to believe. And I just believe that something was out there that not your traditional baseball fans would love, that a family would love, that young people would love, that people just want to go have fun and not take themselves too seriously. There's the conventional world of sports, which we play a little bit in that world, but we can't control whether your team wins or loses.
Right.
But what we can control is the show. And if we build the rules, we make the rules of the game, we make the rules of the show, people can leave and have a great time every single night. That's what we're trying to do.
So a lot of entrepreneurs would have built their deck. They would have gone around and pitched this idea for a new concept and raised a bunch of money or tried to and go from there. That's not what you did.
Start doing.
Yeah. Well, sing more.
One City World Tour. Start small, dream big. We had this idea. We had this belief. We played banana ball and we did it behind closed doors. We played 9 innings in 99 minutes and the players said it was the most fun they've ever played. And I watched it. You couldn't take your eyes off. How do you make that happen? I called my 2 college coaches and said, I got a crazy idea. Can we do this behind closed doors? They said, sure, Jesse, we'll give it a shot. And we got fired up. And we said, all right, well, let's test it.
And it didn't work right away.
No.
What happened?
It never works right away. It always starts as chaos when you first begin. But then we said, all right, well, is there something here? Is there some magic? How do you make it where people, you can't take your eyes off, you can't leave your seat, or you may miss something you've never seen before in baseball?
You didn't raise outside capital. You're not like an independently wealthy guy spending a trust fund down or something. You save a few bucks with a college scholarship. How are you even sustaining this while you're trying to get enough traction or product market fit?
Most businesses, a lot of businesses start, hey, we got to start this. We need to raise capital,
right?
Or we got to have advertisers, sponsors. We got to get all of this. Well, what we were fortunate with college summer baseball, we started a model where, if we could sell the tickets and get people excited enough to come, we learned how to be successful by just selling tickets. You can sell tickets. Everyone's like, I don't know if we can do that golf event because we lost our sponsor. Well, then the event's not good enough.
Right.
I mean, if people don't want to pay to come see it, we had to make a product that people wanted to pay and come see. And so we created in college summer baseball, we were selling out every night, 4,000 seats a night.
Yeah.
Now, this is after only selling 2 tickets in our first 3 months, running out of money. My wife and I had to sell our house, empty out our savings account, sleeping on an airbed with nothing. But we got them to see the show, and we saw dancing players. We saw fun moments. We saw banana babies, banana bands, all that. We put the Bananas, senior citizen dancing. People were like, this is something we've never seen before. So that's, small, $3 million business, but making money, and it's fine.
Nothing. Was there a moment where you and your wife looked at each other and said, this isn't going to work? Was there a moment where you lost faith or you just weren't sure you would get there?
We wouldn't let ourselves go there. Most people, we couldn't. We were $1 million plus in debt. We just got married. We have to go on. There's no other option. So if we ever let our mind just go we're not going to make it, there was no option.
So what's the inflection point then when you've sold the house, you're sleeping on the air mattress, have to be some moments your wife and you were looking at each other and deep breath.
We didn't sleep at all.
Yeah.
We didn't sleep at all. We'd walk the streets just thinking, and we just kept saying, get to that first show. Get to that first show. It's like my dad, his mom says, hey, get to your next at bat. And you forget about what happened in the last at bat. Get to your next at bat. in that mindset, and then swing hard in case you hit it. And so we said, we're going to get to that opening night, but we're going to swing hard. Bananas went out and danced in the pouring rain because it was a rain delay. We had the first banana. We had the players doing dances, and people were like, what am I watching? But it created attention. They were saying they saw something. So from that point, we started selling it every day. Wow. So the business became set at a 4,000 seat stadium. So we already had a little bit of a cushion to say, hey, we can experiment. Let's go take this on the road and see where it is. We had a Penske truck that we just packed all our stuff in. We didn't know how to set up merchandise. We didn't know logistics. We didn't know how to use sound systems at other stadiums. We didn't know anything. But we said, can we get enough people excited to come see it? And we sold it out. We failed miserably the first night. Sound went out, but enough good happened. They watched the excitement. We said, all right, how do we get to the next day? Got to the next day, put on a great show. And I knew right there. We had a surprise fireworks show. We had the fans stayed an hour plus after the game. They didn't want to leave, which normally games, you want to leave. Sure. And I said, this is it. And so the next year, go to 7 cities, then 33, then major league stadiums, then football stadiums. You just keep expanding after you start doing it.
Hey, folks, we are briefly pausing today's episode to tell you Masters of Scale Summit is returning to San Francisco October 20th to 22nd. If you've been before, you know this is unlike any other business or tech conference you've ever attended. Superstars, incredible programming. The audience is incredible, one phenomenal person after another, but it's the feeling, it's the vibe, it's the energy. It's about shaping the future that we want to see. After 3 packed days full of rich insights, you're going to leave so energized, so fired up, so ready to go change the world. You're not going to believe it. Join us. Visit mastersofscale.com/summit.
It strikes me that 20 years ago, this would have been a heck of a lot harder to do, in part because you just didn't have the range of social media.
Correct.
So how did you market when you're, it's so hard often to take that in real life experience, so special, and translate it on social and digital. What was that?
Well, we spend $0 on marketing. We invest on the experience. So most people, I think, when they think about marketing, is like, you got to go promote something to get people to want to buy something or take on a service. Mm-hmm. What we think about is, how do you make your experience so remarkable that you capture that and just share that? P.T. Barnum, one of the greatest promoters of all time, he said, something terrible happens without promotion. Nothing. And so I think without social media, it's been a great challenge. But yes, now social media, we can amplify it, but you still have to create something truly remarkable. And that's what we try to do every night.
You've referenced P.T. Barnum, you've referenced Walt Disney. There were elements of Vince McMahon and WWE here. There were elements of Jerry Garcia and the Grateful Dead.
So
when you're looking at these folks who've innovated and created these extraordinary fan-friendly experiences, how are you determining what's going to work for you, what to draw from them? When you're researching, you read about these folks, saying about these folks, what are you looking to latch on to?
Well, you start with the best in their industry. So, yes, the Grateful Dead, they were the most fan-friendly band of theirs. They let the fans record every single night. They created a newsletter for them. They were speaking directly with them. They brought in their own sound because they wanted to be better. Like, they were obsessed with communicating directly with the fans. They started selling their own tickets to fans, the fan clubs, all of that. So we said, all right, how do we do that? We have 40,000 K Club members that to get access to all of our tickets for this year, special meet and greets. That could be well over 100,000, but we're still learning of it every year and slowly growing it.
I spent a couple of years at the NFL, ran the digital media group.
Yes.
There is perhaps no organization more zealous about controlling its right 100% of the National Football League, and they have built a pretty darn good business doing it. You guys with the fan first approach, you'll do an ESPN deal, you'll do a CW deal, you'll keep the rights to stream games on YouTube for free globally. When you're balancing that driving revenue and creating that fan experience, because you're still a business, right? I mean,
we're a healthy business.
So how are you striking that balance? Is it always fan first? Are there moments where you go, boy, if ESPN's going to 10x the dollars they're going to give us, I'm not going to live stream every game? Is that even a discussion?
Fans first, always. We started this company to be fans first. That's who we are. That's what we stand for. It's our mission. It's our values. And as soon as you deter away from that, you're in trouble. And you'll have short term, you'll be glorious in the short term. And then every day you'll just lose a few fans, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 10, and hundreds, and thousands. That's my fear.
There's a different mindset when you're at a challenger brand than when you're at the top of the mountain.
But you should always be challenged.
Well, so that's exactly where I'm going. How do you maintain that challenger brand mindset as you're getting up there?
I'm scared every day. I'm scared every day that what we've worked so hard at when we first started and sleeping on the airbed, that we can lose fans. I'm scared that that we built from nothing. And now it's, I guess you would call it productive paranoia. And I have that every day, that our show has to get a little bit better. Our experience has to get a little bit better. Our entertainment has to get a little bit better. Our merchant experience has to get a little better. Our ticket experience has to get a little bit better. That, to some people say, "Oh, that sounds not healthy." To me, it fires me out. It excites me. I love looking back at where we were last year and where we are this year and knowing that we're only 1% of the way where we can be. I know that and I believe that because we're inventing a lot of it as we go. It's going to be messy. It's hard. Every time we do a new show, it's hard. We have 6 teams now. It's extremely hard trying to have that level.
And I don't think most people realize this because the Bananas are becoming this phenomenon.
100%.
You can't go on social without seeing you guys. Phenomenal. But you're now a 16 league. You've got a season. You've got an end of season tournament, right? So have you been worried about diluting the brand by expanding into these other teams?
100%. That's a huge fear. So you have to make every single show so distinct and so unique and so different. And so we've invested millions in each show. So like the Party Animals, which people don't realize, they have more followers than every Major League Baseball team on TikTok.
Really?
They're selling out Major League stadiums without the Bananas. Like 170,000 people joined the list to go see them in Detroit. Based on those numbers, 4 tickets, we could sell out 8 straight nights without the Bananas. The Clowns, our newest team, which obviously paying tribute to the Negro League team with what they did, is unbelievable. I mean, we're bringing Broadway type singers, a brass band that's unbelievable. We have acts we haven't shared yet, but from Cirque du Soleil. I want people every night to see these shows and be like, I've never seen that on a baseball field. I've seen the Bananas, but I've never seen something like that. And it's very hard because they're all just getting started.
And does each of the new teams, can they build that brand on their own? Or how do you think about integrating them with the Bananas?
So they're creating fans every night. The local beach coconuts their merchandise is right up there at number 2 because that brand is so fun that when they start playing at the end of the game, everyone's chanting Local Beach and coconuts. And so they can build off each other, but you have to make it distinct. You have to make it, they think, oh, it's just another one of the Bananas teams, we're in trouble. That's a huge fear of mine, is we got to continue to come up with new ideas and push the on.
The Dodgers have a home game tonight. I checked right before we sat down. Yeah. The very cheapest seat in the stadium is $80. It's at the top if I want to be, and even the bleachers are in the lower bowl up into the hundreds of dollars per ticket. You guys have kept a very low fixed ticket price.
Our goal is very simple. It's to create fans. Your goal is to make money. We could charge a lot more. And we've been told to do that by every consultant. You could be making this. The average ticket price in the secondary market's over $200. For us, it's $40, $50, and $60 with no ticket fees, no convenience fees when you pay your taxes. It's a different game. If you're a public company, they would say there's $100 million right there. Just charge what you should charge.
Yeah.
No interest to us. And we even built a secondary market to deter the whole secondary market.
Yeah.
And it's all face value, which just costs us money.
Yep.
We're literally developing, putting all the money into it, taking all the fees. That's all on us. Just so our fans can get tickets at the price that we believe is best.
The other thing that I imagine a private equity investor done to get in your business would say is, okay, fine, Jesse, do it that way, do it your way, but let's go use the ticketing platform for everyone else who wants to advantage. Is that part of the plan? Is that part of the...
Well, yeah, if you follow, I guess, if you look at what Amazon did, I mean, it's great. I mean, Bezos and the group built something that could handle their infrastructure and say, wow, a lot of people could use that as well.
AWS.
100% AWS, which is the most profitable part of their business, billions of dollars. Yeah, I think there's a world where our ticketing platform that we have built and our secondary marketplace could be used. But right now, we got to get to a point where it is so great for our fans that we are right there. Like, it is perfect. Like, it is almost that perfect for our fans that we want to put it out to everyone else. And that's going to be a long way. Again, our goals aren't to make a lot of money. Our goals are to create the best experience.
I get that. And also, the more money you make, especially if you're not charging fans for it, the more you can offer it, right?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, that's a lot. Like, we're investing a lot more in our show. Millions of dollars. Our broadcast, we invest $13 million this year, which we're not getting that. Like, it's free on YouTube. So that's part of our ethos. We will invest more. Again, another Bezos, they continue to invest for the long game. We're learning how to do a broadcast at a high level. We're learning. We have 16 full-time truck drivers that are driving our trucks around the country with all of our equipment and merchandise. We didn't know how to do a trucking logistics company, but we have to now because we're in 75 stadiums, all in 45 states, and soon we'll be international. We have no idea how to do that.
You're building a fan experience.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you're building technology, a ticketing platform. You're building a logistics company with the trucking. When a new challenge like that comes up, how are you figuring out what to do?
Well, it depends on what part of the business. So I think we learned this again. You look at Walt Disney and Roy Disney. Walt was focused on all the creative and Roy was focused on all the operation, how you pay for it. And, we have an amazing president who's been with us since day one, Jared Orton. He is gung-ho on the operations and figuring it out. He always finds a way. His mindset is, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We don't know, but we'll figure it out. And it's going to be messy. It'll cost us a little bit more as we figure it out, but eventually we'll get it. When it comes to creative, that's what I focus on. I'm focused on how do we create a show? What's our next step? What's our next event that's going to be larger than life? What's our original music that we're creating? What's the next media thing we're doing? I spend all my time there. He spends all his time focused on how do we actually take care of our fans and make this happen. And when we work well, we work very well together.
There are a lot of leaders running consumer businesses who would love to have a little bit of your system. Brian Rolapp was my boss at the NFL.
Yep.
He's now running the PGA Tour. Brian calls and says, Jesse, one note.
Yeah.
What should I be doing different?
At the PGA Tour?
Yeah.
I'd break the rules. Let fans have fun. Let golfers have fun. People want to connect with the athletes. They want to connect in a way. It's okay to celebrate. It's okay to have fun. Why don't the golfers come through high-fiving all the fans? Or why don't they actually have some entrances? Why isn't there an entrance music as a golfer comes out? Why does it have to always be quiet? Again, there's obviously movies and Happy Gilmore and all talking about that. And there's a world now where I think people are looking for entertainment nonstop. We have seen amazing golf shots. We have seen home runs. We have seen touchdowns. It doesn't take away from the sport. It's amazing to watch. But you haven't seen the athletes have as much fun.
Yeah.
And whether you're a golfer, whether you're a football, it's like football channel that said, hey, we're going to have touchdown sellies. We're all good. Like, celebrate, have fun. That's good. And that's become a part of our society now. That didn't hurt the game. It added to the game. So why don't you embrace that? If you're in golf, it's like, embrace those moments. Let's just do this one tournament. We're going to have music pumping. We're going to have live bands. We're going to have entrances. We're going to have certain walk-ups. We're going to have celebrities doing singing. It is going to be the most fun golf tournament in the world. Just test it for once. Golf purists will hate it. But you might draw a whole new audience that you'd be surprised and they'd come out and have the time of their life. Maybe.
Let me go to the other end of the spectrum. Reid Hoffman is a co-founder of LinkedIn. LinkedIn is not known where the party happens. If you're giving one product note to LinkedIn right now, what are you asking them to do or change to make it more fun, more content friendly?
It's tough because it's very easy to just go and do what everyone else is doing. You see this TikTok takes this from Instagram takes this, Meta takes it. I wouldn't try to do what everyone else is doing. I would lean in on what makes them different. And love is better than like, as I've heard many times. Get 1 million, 2 million, 5 million, 10 million to love you as opposed to hundreds of million. Like, can't kind of like you.
If someone is about to graduate college is coming up to you and saying, Jesse, like, what do I do? Like, the entry level jobs are disappearing. I'm really not sure what to do. What's the piece of advice that you're giving?
Do what gives you energy. Biggest game changer for me happened about 6 years into my professional journey. I was with the Gastonia Grizzlies and I was doing everything. I was doing hiring, I was doing sales, I was doing food and bev, I was doing operations, and every day I was. And then I realized that, what were my best days? What did I do during my best days? I was coming up with ideas. I was creating, I was sharing, I was on a podcast. I was talking about what we're doing. I was growing, I was learning from some of the best of the best. And so I created my energy list. And I said, these are the 3 things, these buckets: creating, sharing, growing. If I do that every day, everything else takes care of itself. And so that gives me energy. And I hope it gives all of our team energy, because every day we get to do special things and enjoy.
Well, I'm confident everyone watching, listening, is taking joy away from this. Thanks for being my
appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks again to the man in the yellow suit, Jesse Cole, for joining us. Not everyone is bold enough to create something as wacky and wild and just wonderful as the Savannah Bananas. But the lessons from Jesse's scale journey are essential for all of us. The one that struck me most watching his team rehearse for a show: joy. It's contagious, it's good for business, and Lord knows we need more of it. I'm Jeff Berman. Thank you for listening.